Dear students, welcome to today's English class. Class 7 English Course Book, Unit 1, Caring for Others. Section 2, A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol, being a ghost story of Christmas, commonly known as A Christmas Carol, is a novel by Charles Dickens. A Christmas Carol recounts the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, an elderly miser who is visited by the ghost of his former business partner Jacob Marley and the spirits of Christmas past, present and yet to come. After their visit, Scrooge is transformed into a kinder gentleman. Charles John Huffam Dickens was an English writer and social critic. He created some of the world's best-known fictional characters and is regarded by many as the greatest novelist of the Victorian era. His works enjoyed unprecedented popularity during his lifetime, and by the 20th century, critics and scholars had recognized him as a literary genius. His novels and short stories are still widely read today. Section 2, A Christmas Carol. Carols are devotional songs sung at Christmas. There is a noticeable element of cheerfulness in carol. This is the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, a lonely, unhappy man who did not like Christmas. One Christmas, however, his life changed.
Although Scrooge was a wealthy man, he was a miser. His favorite hobby was counting money, his own money. He never married because he did not like the idea of supporting a wife. Bringing up children was a waste of money to him. He had no friends because he spent very little, and that very little he spent on himself. Scrooge was a hard-working man. Christmas was just around the corner, and most people were in a happy mood except Scrooge. "Merry Christmas. What rubbish," he said to himself. "What's Christmas? It's just a time to pay bills, to find you a year older and not an hour richer." He muttered to himself. Scrooge just could not understand why people closed their shops and stayed at home to celebrate Christmas when there was money to be made. Business is so good around Christmas, and these silly people close their shops. He grumbled and grumbled. So while others were busy preparing for Christmas, old Scrooge would spend his days going over the sums of money that others owed him. He had been doing this for as long as he could remember. As usual, his clerk, Cratchit, would make a request to be let off earlier on Christmas Eve. This Scrooge granted, most unwillingly. But this Christmas for Scrooge was to be different from the others. As the old moneylender fell asleep that night, the spirit of Christmas visited him. An old man in ghostly white appeared before him and said, "Scrooge, come with me, and I'll show you your future."
What kind of a man was Scrooge? Scrooge was a miser. How did Scrooge describe Christmas? Scrooge described Christmas as rubbish. Why was Scrooge unhappy with everyone during the time of Christmas? Scrooge was unhappy with everyone during the time of Christmas because he could not understand why people closed their shops and stayed at home to celebrate Christmas when there was money to be made. Who visited Scrooge on this special night? The spirit of Christmas visited him.
Scrooge got up and followed the old man, and they went on a journey as if traveling through the clouds. Soon they came to a marshy land, thick with mist. Watching closely, Scrooge could make out many people, all of whom he recognized as having been dead for a long time. Weighed down by heavy chains, they were crying for help. "There you are, Scrooge," the spirit of Christmas began. "They were once like you, hard-hearted and merciless. They too enjoyed counting their money to the last penny. But where are they now? Can their money help them? Give, Scrooge, give. Blessed are they who give." The old miser could not believe what he had just seen. "Let's go a little further, and perhaps you can understand better," the spirit of Christmas said. Not far away, they came to a graveyard. There were many tombstones there. One of them was a newly dug one with the word Scrooge written on it. "You're looking at your own grave, Scrooge," The spirit of Christmas told the old miser, "You see, there are no flowers because during your lifetime you had no friends. Soon your grave will be in ruins and you will join those in the marshy land." "Oh no, I beg you," Scrooge cried. He was now shaking all over. "Just give me a chance, one more chance, and I'll repent," the old miser said as he shook the ghostly old man's wrinkled hand.
Where was Scrooge taken first? Scrooge was taken to hell. What did the spirit of Christmas tell him about the dead people? They were once like Scrooge, hard-hearted and merciless. They too enjoyed counting their money to the last penny. How did Scrooge react to what he saw? The old miser could not believe what he had just seen. Scrooge cried and begged for one more chance, and he assured repentance.
He was still shaking the bedpost when he awoke, sweat pouring down his face and all over his body. It had been a most frightening dream. "Thank God I'm alive," he said again and again. Then, still remembering all that he had seen in his dream, he at once decided to do something good. He quickly got dressed and rushed out of his house. The first person he came across, he asked, "My kind sir, can you please tell me what day it is?" "Why, it's Christmas," came the reply. "A very Merry Christmas to you, sir, and may God bless you." Scrooge wished the stranger. This was the first time in his life he had done this. Then suddenly he remembered Cratchit, the clerk, who had been working for him for many years. "I'll buy him the biggest turkey in town." "Bless him, good Cratchit," the miser said, as he made his way to a food store. He paid for the turkey and gave the man Cratchit's address. "Deliver the turkey to him, please," Scrooge said happily. This was the first time in his life he had ever given anyone a present. He felt very happy about it. Cratchit was very surprised when he received the turkey. He wanted to thank his kind donor, but Scrooge never left his name. Indeed, the Christmas that Scrooge had after his frightening dream was the best he had ever had. Now he realized what a good feeling there was in learning to give.
What did Scrooge say when he awoke the next day? He said, "Thank God I'm alive." What did he say to the first person he met that day? For the first time in his life, he wished one the greetings of Christmas. What lesson did Scrooge learn that day? He realized what a good feeling there was in learning to give. Dear students, kindly read this passage several times. Write down the notes that I will be sending to you. Make use of materials provided in Google Classroom. Kindly join with me in Google Meet Classroom. Thank you. Until we meet next week, take care.